Oh, boy. Turn that down. Me freaking YouTube getting in my shit. Flyaway hairs all up in my nose, all itchy. What is up, people? I could be like that really spastic guy. What was his name? Prison POV or some shit. What a dumbass. I could be all spastic like him. Like, what is up? Oh boy, if he watches this video, he'll probably be a little ticked off at me, but that's all right. I don't care, whatever. Oh, another Monday. Thank God this day's over with. Now I get to go home and wrap Christmas presents. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry. Where my daughter is. She must be sleeping. That's usually about the only time she misses my live feeds, if she's sleeping or working. She's had some health issues here lately. So the doctor put her on leave for a little while. I'm not going to get into her personal business though. Oh God, I got heartburn. I've been taking this wormwood stuff. It's a multivitamin, and it like dries my sinuses out real bad. But it's supposed to be good for your respiratory system. But I get headaches now. It gives me headaches. Ooh. Excuse me. Anyway. Well, there we go. There's me, a viewer. What's up, viewer? What's happening? Welcome in, welcome in. Yep, it's me again. Maybe you'll stick around longer in just a couple of seconds. No, there you go. Off to the clear blue yonder. Yeah. I guess people just stopping in to see what the old hippie's saying. Yep. That's usually how it works. But that's okay. I'm not out for views anyway, really. It'll be dark by the time I get home, so people won't even be able to see me anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed my video last Friday. I did a live feed video last Friday while I was building something at work. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was pretty entertaining. The volume wasn't up though, because I thought I had Bluetooth headphones in, and I thought that they were connected, and as I was doing my video that people would be able to hear me. But boy, how wrong I was, huh? Yeah, so I still got quite a few views on it. I got like 960 views or something like that on a short clip that they took. I guess YouTube does that automatically now. They take a segment of your live feeds and they use it like a short, like a highlight or whatever. And I just happened to be talking about my brother at the time. But I'm not going to give that away. You'll have to go back to the page or to my channel and watch that highlight from Friday to see what I said. Or you can watch my whole video. That'd be cool too. And you can hit the like button. You hit the screen twice. That likes my feed, and there's a subscribe button either up there or down there. I'm not sure where it's at because I'm not on your end. So you can hit that too if you like. I'm just, you know, one-man show here with a vehicle and a telephone, cell phone thingy, and I just do my thing on the way home. Usually I just talk like about my day and what's going on in the world. You know, sometimes I try not to get into politics though, or religion. Those seems to be a couple of things that cause a little controversy. I don't like controversy, so I don't talk about those subjects much. I do touch on them every now and then, but I found that it's just better to stay away from that kind of stuff. You know, of course, people like chaos, and some people are addicted to chaos. Addicted to chaos, chaos. You like the Megadeth song, Addicted to Chaos? Yeah, some people like that stuff. I don't really care to talk about things that are chaotic. You know, I might give my view every once in a while on, you know, something that's happened, like let's say those people down there in Australia that got killed on Bondi Beach. You know, what a tragedy. You know, but that's what happens when you have a society where you don't have legalities to carry a firearm. You know, because those people in Australia had their guns taken away or forcefully turned in a long time ago. So, you know, they don't, even if those guys had, you know, if that one man had not tackled that one shooter guy, he was a Muslim, of course, but if that guy hadn't tackled him, there probably would have been a lot more people got killed. And see, then again, if somebody else had had a firearm and been able to, you know, fire back, then, you know, people like one-way shooting ranges more than they like two-way shooting ranges. It's kind of that's kind of really a weird analogy, but I mean, it's true. You know, somebody goes, and that's why these shooters, these people that, you know, go in and kill, you know, these kids and things in school and nightclubs and stuff, because they have a sign on the door that says no firearms allowed, or firearm free, you know, atmosphere, or no firearms, or something like that. You know, these people usually go places where they know nobody's going to shoot back, and that seems to be like a big thing. So these guys in Australia, of all places, I guess, well, Bondi Beach is like right outside of Sydney, I think, blowing people away, and nobody's shooting back because nobody there is allowed to have firearms. I mean, you know, there are people there that do have firearms, yeah, but these are like the people that have firearms are like the bush people, you know, that hunt for their food, but they have certain stipulations that they have to stick by. You know, there's all this paperwork they have to fill out. They have to, you know, keep their firearm in a secure location at all times, in a safe or something locked up. You know, the only time they can really have it out is when they are going hunting or whatever. So that makes all the difference in the world, you know, for situations like Bondi Beach. Now, if that had been an American beach, you know, in a state where, you know, people, you know, carry a lot, like here in Missouri, well, let's say if that had been like Osage Beach, or even Lake of the Ozarks or somewhere like that, somebody on that shore would have had a firearm, and somebody would have been able to fire back. But being that those people are in Australia, nobody on the beach had a firearm, they couldn't shoot back. You know what I mean? It was just by chance that, you know, somebody was brave enough to tackle one of the shooters, you know, sneak up from behind him and tackle him. So kudos to that guy, you know what I mean? He put his life on the line to save many more. And it probably, like I said, it probably would have been a lot worse if that guy had not tackled that one guy. They probably would have lost another 15 or 20 lives at least. That would be my guesstimate anyway. I'm guessing that as fast as those guys were emptying their magazines and then reloading, these weren't semi-automatic weapons either. These were, you know, these were bolt-action rifles that they were using. Now I don't know if they were Mausers or what they were, but they were bolt action rifles, and this guy was, you know, working that bolt, you know, just as fast as I could freaking hammer a nail. You know what I mean? So it was pretty. What was that? Recent deed. I don't want no freaking sticker answer thing. I don't know what it is. YouTube puts these things up, but anyway, it probably would have been a lot worse, you know, if somebody hadn't have taken the you know, the time to tackle this guy to make sure he wasn't shooting anybody else. You know, he's just, and they knew, you know what I mean? These attackers, they always know if they're going to somewhere where nobody's going to be able to shoot back. They know it, you know. And like the police didn't get there for like what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, you know, their response time was fucking god awful, you know. And you know, I read, you know, articles here and there during the day at work sometimes, you know, like, you know, break or whatever. I see we have an intraweb at work, so I'm able to, you know, look at news articles and stuff. And that thing about the massacre on Bondi Beach today was just all over the place. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable, because I think like the last mass shooting they had was a school, and that was back when they, you know, the government said, okay, fuck this, we're taking everybody's guns away from them. You know what I mean? So it's been years since anything like that has happened in Australia, and it's just a damn shame. You know, people, I don't know if there was people there on vacation. I'm sure there probably were. You know, it's wintertime here in the U.S. Well, it's like late fall, but early winter, you know, and I'm sure that there were some people probably there on vacation. And that's a hell of a thing, man. You plan to go on vacation and have a good time. You go to like the most popular beach around, and the next thing you know, you're having to hit the deck because somebody's, you know, 200 yards away and they're fucking blowing people away. You know what I mean? So it's a sad, tragic thing that happened, but, you know, what can we do? You know, shit like that, unfortunately, it does happen. And then, of course, you got your goons out there. Oh, it's the gun's fault. It's the gun's fault. No, it's not the gun's fault. You know, this was like the start of a celebration of a Jewish holiday or something. And these fucking Muslims, you know, even in other countries, are raising hell and, you know, taking lives. And it's not going to be long before that shit starts happening here. You know, whether it's, you know, churches, they target churches, or, you know, schools or whatever. You know what I mean? These jihadists or whatever will start. They're going to start before too awful long. You know, that whole thing in fucking Dearborn, Michigan is a hotbed for the, you know, for the Muslim community and these jihadists. And you know, they attack people in the streets up there. The media won't cover it though. You know, well, that's the problem. The media doesn't cover it. And you know, if you remember back, well, I don't know how many, you know, are old enough to remember what happened on September 11th, but or 9/11, or 9/11, however you want to say it. You know, that was the United States. You know, for like 6 months after that, you know, damn the Muslims, damn the Muslims, damn the Muslims, they're all terrorists, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden that political correctness shit that fucking Obama started, you know, took place of that, you know, because Obama was a Muslim too, of course. And, you know, that was like their stepping stone to start running our country, you know. But unfortunate enough, you know, that kind of shit happens, and you know, you let those people in and they take over. You know what I mean? It's not just the U.S. It's everybody, every country. Fucking Poland won't even let them in. Poland said, "You're Muslim, get the fuck out. We don't want you here." You know, and it's because of this long age. I don't know if it's prophetic or if it's just a plan, you know, by the Muslim groups or whatever, to go and, they take over town by town, and then they get people in the government that are able to pull strings and, rub elbows with important people. And, that's how they start. That's how they start taking over. And then, they overpopulate. And then, of course, you got the replacement theory. They start replacing people. And then, like the people that are born, the Muslim people that are born here are born into that hate and that intolerance to other people. To hear the Muslims talk about it, they're like the most peaceful people in the world, but actually they're not. I've probably said too much already, but you know what? Who gives a shit? I'll talk about it today. They've taken over countries pretty much, like England, for instance. You can't say one cross word in England. Of course, they don't have something called the First Amendment to the Constitution there either. They've got some kind of it's not really like a constitution, it's more like a charter, kind of like what's going on up there in Canada. They have like some simple rules to live by, and but they'll put you in jail. They catch you talking shit about somebody, whether it's a meme or like something like this on YouTube or Facebook or any kind of social media. They catch you talking about somebody, or making memes or poking fun at races or whatever. They will throw your ass in jail in England because they don't have their speech isn't protected over there. And why isn't their speech protected? Because they don't have firearms. Basically, the criminals have firearms, but the good law-abiding citizens, they don't have firearms. They can't defend themselves. First of all, against outsiders coming in and trying to take their country, and second of all, they don't have any protection against their own government. Which is really kind of sad, because the government can come in at any time and wipe everybody out, and nobody can do anything about it. You don't have a First Amendment without a Second Amendment. You don't have a Second Amendment without a First Amendment. That seems to be like the biggest slogan, of people that who are constitutionalists, like myself. You know what I mean? I live by the Constitution. Now, there's some stuff that that is supposed to be going on that's not. There's some stuff that's going on that's not supposed to be going on, and with our government here, and you just really, all you can do is talk about it. And they talk about these things with like, okay, let's say January 6th, for instance. January 6th was not an insurrection. If you have 2 million people at one spot and you want to take something over, the people that were there could have taken over, and the U.S. government couldn't have done anything about it. You know what I mean? But only if they were acting as terrorists, and they were not acting as terrorists. Not like you see other places. So, what the hell's going on up here? Sorry, I'm running into some traffic here. I'm driving east on 70. I'm seeing it all, but it seems to be like the first 3 lanes on the inside on my passenger side of my truck. But anyway, so, yeah. You can't have the first without the second. You can't have the second without the first. You got to be able to stand up for your rights and talk about them to people. Everybody wants to blame the guns. The guns this, and the guns that. It had nothing to do with the guns. The guns is just a tool. It's the operators of those tools that are the ones that usually cause all the problems. You know what I mean? But man, where's my daughter? Whew. Stinky Earth City. We got a landfill right over there, right off the interstate. God, this area sucks so bad when I come through here. It smells. Ugh. Horrible. A lot of the residents in this area don't like living here because of the smell, you know. But then again, a lot of people are just so used to it, it doesn't really even bother them anymore, which is kind of amazing to me, if you want to be honest. Oh, my throat's sore today. I guess I'm running out of talking power already, something. Yeah, I got nobody watching. That's neat. I've still got about 10 minutes before I get home. I got one person watching me now. Hello, viewer. How are you? Anybody want a shout out? I'll give you a free shout out. Just put your name and your comment down at the bottom. I'll give you a free shout out. It won't even cost you anything. I won't make you like or subscribe to my page or anything. Where's my cousin Jason? What's up, Jason? Having a good day there, cuzzo. Now see, it says, okay, I got 3 people watching now. It must have been because I was in that valley. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I got 3 people watching. Anybody want a shout out? I've already said hello to my cousin Jason. That's my other moderator. If you notice, his name is Blue. And he's responsible for making sure people behave. So behave yourself. You're talking on my channel. If you're listening to what I got to say, behave yourself. Because he'll sure enough take care of it for me. Anyway. So as I was saying earlier, this is another Munday Monday. Things have really kind of slowed down at work. I'd rather be slow than not have anything to do at all, but I did get, how's it going? Oh, it's kind of slow at work, bud. You know, it's been a day, that's for sure. I worked 10 hours today. I managed to squeeze the clock out of 10 hours. Of course, most of the stuff that I had came in after lunch. You know, I've been pretty good about finishing up like my tasks for the day. And, but like in the mornings, I don't have anything to do. And then I have to wait on these guys to finish these vehicles. And like we have one team of 4 working on vehicles, and we got one team of 2 working on vehicles. And the team that's working on 2 are doing some pretty elaborate builds right now, so they're not really producing as much as the other ones, as the other guys. So you know, they usually start like first thing in the morning. They'll have some fresh trucks, and then like by noon they're usually wrapping them up, you know, with all like the inside stuff. And then after lunch they put all the decals and stuff on them, you know. So that's my truck making that noise. It only does it on this stretch for some reason. Anyway, so they don't actually finish anything, you know, like I said, until after lunch. So then by the time they get the decals on and get the vans over to me, vans and trucks, it's usually like, you know, 1:30, 2 o'clock. Well, those guys leave at like 2:30. So between 2:30 and 4:30, I'm either A, trying to get shit done, or B, I'm twiddling my thumbs because there is nothing to do, you know. So it makes for a pretty interesting day, needless to say. But today I managed to find a few things to do. You know, I had a couple of trucks that needed to go out that were, you know, ready. Well, at least ready for me to look at. And then, of course, I did a class today as well. Have you heard of a Dick Fur? No idea what that is, Jason. I've heard of a dick face. Oh yeah. Anyway, have I heard of a dick for? No, sorry, I can't say I have. Anyway, I got 3 people in there today. Anybody gonna like my comment or my video, please? Somebody like it. Just hit the screen twice. It'll take you 1 second. Hit the screen twice and give me a like, please. I usually don't beg. I'm too proud to beg, you know. But it is cool when, you know, those things happen, because for me, you know, I want to talk about things that people like. You know what I mean? And if I'm just, you know, over here yapping my gums and talking about something that people just are disinterested in, there's actually no reason for me to be doing this. You're supposed to, what's a dick for? Oh, I see. No, I did say what is it? What is it? Didn't I? Did I not say what it is? I know I said I didn't know what that was. Okay. Yeah, I know what a dick's for. My neighbor's name is Richard. We call him Dick. That's what he goes by, Dick. So we had this inside joke that Dee and her son were doing. You know, since my neighbor's name is Richard, he was saying, "Oh, you know, don't be the neighbor, don't be a dick." Anyway, I thought that was kind of comical. Man, I'm so looking forward to the weekend already. Jeez. I had 2 days off and I got absolutely nothing accomplished. I got to go home and wrap Christmas presents this evening. Then I got to put them in a box. And then I got to send them to North Carolina either tomorrow or Wednesday. Of course, that Wednesday is like the very last day, at least for the U.S. mail service anyway, that you can actually order something, or I'm sorry, ship something, and it'll get where it needs to go on time. I did some like last minute Christmas shopping Saturday, and I got a really good price on some freaking St. Louis Blues hoodie, or not hoodies, but toboggans, or beanies, or whatever you call them. Those are going to my youngest granddaughter. I'm sure she'll really love those. But anyway, yeah. Look, there's a like. How about that? Somebody does like what I'm talking about. That was you, wasn't it, Jason? Yeah. That's my cousin Jason. So I got 2 other people on there watching me. I guess they don't speak English very well, or they're just they're shy. Maybe that's what it is. There's probably some young kids that are really shy and don't know how to break the ice with people, you know. But that's okay too. I don't mind. I'm getting ready to end this thing in a minute anyway, because I'm almost home. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, so I got a bunch of shit that I gotta pack up. I'm gonna wrap it this year. Last year we just put it all in those fucking gift bags and tied and stapled them shut, and then sent them on. But this year I'm gonna wrap them individually. It's more fun to do it that way. I might even give them one of those, you know, here, don't use a knife, and put a bunch of tape around it. It's the feds, dude. It's the feds. They're watching you. Oh yeah? Is that what it is? Well, if they're watching me, they ain't got much to see. That's for sure. Oh, man. What a day. All right, guys, gals, whoever's there watching, Jason, I know you are. I'm going to take off. My 30 minutes is pretty much up, so I'll be back probably Wednesday if I don't decide to do something before then. Have a good evening, cuz, and I'll talk to you later. And that new viewer that just came in, sorry, you missed me. Go back to the very beginning and watch my video from the beginning. But anyway, all right, y'all, I'm out. We'll see y'all later. Take it easy.